So today I'm gonna just go through. This is like a big history lesson, basically, about pandemics through history. Um, I did a good chunk. I think there's like four ish here. It does take a lot of research to do these. Um, and yes, COVID is a pandemic. No, I haven't even touched on that one yet. So yeah, this can be a list of pandemics, a couple epidemics. So before I start this video, let me explain the difference between an epidemic and a pandemic. There is a difference. Just because they both end with the word demic, they're not the same thing. So an epidemic generally it's where a disease kind of stays to one country or place, whereas a pandemic will spread to like countries and different places that'll go around the world. It's kind of confusing, but it's all right. An epidemic generally stays to one place, so in one area. And a pandemic, it goes everywhere. So, with that, because the first one is, I believe, an epidemic, not a pandemic, but still does just as much damage as a pandemic does. Melissa's just getting ready to go to bed downstairs, so you hear screaming. She's good. The first one is the Plague of Athens. Now this one was a little hard to figure out. There's a lot of different websites I had to go to figure out what it was. Because how I did this was I looked up different pandemics and it gave me a list of some. Because, like, this is a fun video to make because I love anything history. But, like, it was really hard to find something on this particular one and the next one, even though they did a good amount of damage. And no one really knows the answer to any of it. So this one happened about 430 BC. So that makes sense to why people can't really find much on it. But it's not impossible to find something. So it takes place in Athens in ancient Greece in 430 BC. Now, I did list the symptoms and everything because to every disease or illness or whatever, there are symptoms. And now some of these, they generally have, like, what caused certain diseases and what caused the plague. The first ones begin off with plague. They all say plague. I'm 100% sure. Yeah, they do. So, some of the symptoms to this were like rashes, headaches, conjunctivitis, and if you don't know what that is, it's pink eye, abdominal cramps, and I hate this word. I can't even pronounce it. Hemopsis. It's hemo. Oh my gosh. I had this one. I made sure I knew the words before I started. I have a horrible time pronouncing these words. Hemoptis. I for all the big words, I wrote an explanation for them. So what that one is, it's basically coughing up blood from the lungs. Anything with hemo, it has to do with the blood. I learned that from my sister. I asked her a bunch of questions. So, that's all right. but it's basically hemorrhaging in your bronchial tubes. And this plague kind of killed around 25% of the Athens population, which I had to do a very deep search into figuring out how many people. So there were around, why didn't I write it? 140,000 Athenians, however you want to say that. So 25% of that is what got killed off through the plague. So it killed about 35,000 people, which is a lot of people for one area. So this was the first epidemic, and it devastated the Athens in ancient Greece because it did kill 25% of their population, which for some people that may not seem like a lot, but that's a lot in people. So, also the Eastern Mediterranean had this same disease. It was more than likely chickenpox, but no one can really put a pin in what it was. But the symptoms kind of line up with chickenpox. So some people think it's chickenpox, some people think it's not. And you might think it's really simple, but we have cures for that crap now that they didn't have at all. So the Eastern Mediterranean got affected by it too, but not half as bad as the Athens. So, and because this was happening, they had to put some laws in place so it would stop spreading. So, since it had such a serious impact on them, what they did was that if people came into Athens claiming to be an Athenian or a part of Athens, one of three things happened, all involving you to die. So they'd be punished by poisoning. They would have them drink hemlock, which is a plant, which is a part of the, I think it's the parsley family. They would put in a drink, kind of like what they used, I think it was to kill Socrates. And that or they would tie you to a plank and leave you in the sun, so you would die from sun exposure if you didn't die from starving first. Or of dehydration, because they were very, very serious on that. Or they would just behead you. It got to the point where they were just killing off people just because they were so scared of this epidemic. And hemlock is a European plant. It is part of the parsley family. I did write that. I didn't know if I did. And most people, they died from the disease within the first 7 to 8 days. So they wouldn't last long. It was a very slim chance that you were going to survive through it, but they didn't have any medicines to cure any of this. It's not half as bad, in the terms of people dying, as some of the other ones, but still had a big impact on Athens. They may have taken it a little harsh, killing off people, but apparently they had to do what they had to do. Next, we got the plague of Galen, or Anton's plague. So this was the first known pandemic. This one affected quite a few places. It started in the Roman Empire, and if you know what the Roman Empire looks like, they're a big thing, and it spread like wildfire, honestly. So how the Roman Empire contracted it was most likely by their soldiers who were coming from campaigning near the east. So when they came back, they had brought back this disease. It's more than likely smallpox. After all the research, people were like, no, it has to be smallpox. It makes sense. So it does. This one took place in 165 to 180 AD in the Roman Empire. That's where it all started. So some of these symptoms are rashes, diarrhea, as 95% of symptoms have that. Yeah, systems have that too. We have hemoptysis again, hemopsis. Yeah, it's still hemorrhaging in the bronchial tubes. You get fever, sometimes hemorrhaging pustules, which, looked it up, 2 separate words, but they mean one thing. So, pustule, that is as close as I'm going to get to pronouncing it. But they're little, if I roll the sleeve up, like patches or boils kind of in the skin, kind of like giant pocket. Or a bulge in the skin is what it says, but I have to explain everything. But filled with blood and pus. And it's gross. It's gross. I had to look it up, and I'm not going to put a picture because that's gross. So, yeah. And people think it's the smallpox. So this outbreak killed from 5 to 10 million people. And the fatality rate was about 25%. So you have a 25% chance of just dying. And unlike the other one, this one didn't tell you how long you had to live if you contracted it. But if you contracted it, people thought you were more than likely going to die. The next one I have is the Justinian plague. So this was the first plague pandemic. It was a plague, but also deemed a pandemic from how widespread it was. So this one took place in the Mediterranean basin of Europe at the Near East. So this one also, the time it took place was from 541 AD to 549. And the symptoms are fever, cough, dyspnea. Yeah, it's okay. It's the plagues. I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Dyspnea.
Dyspnea.
She can say it. She is working on being a nurse.
Yeah.
I am not.
Nursing assistant.
Nursing assistant. It is the same to me. Sometimes they have hallucinations, sore throat, diarrhea. You're lying?
Everything has diarrhea as a symptom.
I've already told you guys that, but, it's true. We're not going to talk about the fact that we have, one of these left. Because I did not want to touch the Spanish flu and COVID yet. Because those are some pretty big things. So, dyspnea is a shortness of breath. Just in case you didn't know, it also caused hallucinations. Why didn't I write down what this meant? Okay. Oh, yeah, because I know. This is most likely caused by Yersinia pestis, which is bacteria buildup that causes disease.
Put it bluntly, a weed.
Alice in Wonderland?
Yep. That's what you reminded me of.
I know. So this one killed about 60% of the Mediterranean population. Now, they didn't have any numbers for how many people that was. So, not only this being the first plague pandemic, the disease afflicted. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said. But basically, affected the entire Mediterranean basin of Europe and the Near East, and it severely affected the Sasanian Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. And so the plague was named after the Eastern Roman Empire's Emperor Justinian. Yeah, Justine for short.
It definitely said that.
Actually, it did in the thing I read.
I don't believe you.
But this guy lived from 527 to 565 AD. He did end up recovering from the illness because he ended up getting it, but that was back in 1542, so he lasted a good 23 years afterwards. But then he died. She was so serious about that. She was like the baby, and then the baby rattlesnakes died. This one is the longest one I have, and it's the...
Not you. I'm so sorry.
It has 3 different names. The Plague, Black Death, or, as everyone commonly knows it, the bubonic plague. So, this one took place...
That's a big one. Why'd you do that one?
Because it was the only big one I was willing to do and set it into one part. Because, I've gone 16 minutes and only gone through 3 of these. And these are just the little ones.
Okay.
I didn't even finish this one. 7 of them.
The 7 cholera pandemics. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't finish that one. So this one... The places this one affected was Europe, Asia, and Africa. From 1346 to 1353. And so the symptoms of this one are fever, headache, chills, weakness, and 1 or more painful lymph nodes. Lymph nodes. So, weakness, for anyone who didn't know, because I wrote it down, it's fatigue or tiredness, and
there was this one time me and Mom were talking in the basement, okay, and I said I feel really fatigued, and she was like, I have no idea what the hell that means. I was all like, tired, Mom, I'm tired, and I just felt so smart for 20 seconds of my life.
Oh my gosh. So the lymph nodes, very little beans, okay? They're little bean-shaped structures that are part of the human body. So everyone just got them, apparently.
Yep.
But they're painful.
Everyone has lymph nodes. Okay. I'm gonna shush.
Bruh! I looked it up! Okay. So let me tell you about the death toll of this one. Are you ready?
No.
This one is the most from today. So the death toll was about 60% of Europe's population. And about 200 million people. 200 million people.
I'm done.
And they had a fatality rate for this one. So you had from a 50 to 70% chance of dying untreated. But if they treated it, I have how they tried to treat you. Okay? But if you were treated, it went down to a 10 to 15%. So the cause for this one was attributed to miasma.
Your asthma?
Miasma. That's how you pronounce it.
That's ridiculous.
Miasma. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm look that up because I forgot what it is. It's a disease, clearly. Did I write it down? Oh, screw you. I didn't write it down. Screw past me. Alright. Don't know why I didn't think to write it down.
What is miasma?
Here's the definition of miasma. Literary. A highly unpleasant or unhealthy smell or vapor.
Maybe that's why I didn't write it down. So,
you're welcome.
Thank you. So this was the second plague pandemic to ever be recorded. And it originated from either Central Asia to East Asia. But the first definite appearance was in Eastern Europe. I don't know how to pronounce the place. It's crime with an A at the end. I thought I was so sure I didn't need to know how to pronounce anything for this one, but you know. Are you Googling how to pronounce that word?
Uh-huh.
Good. Good child. Good child. Good person.
You said it's European?
Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe what?
Crime. A.
Okay, I spelled it wrong.
If it's pronounced Crimea, I'm going to be sad.
Crimea.
Crimea.
What?
Crimea.
Crimea? Oh my god, that's dumb.
Hey,
That's so
Ruby,
dumb.
that's not dumb. That is rude. Look at European viewers over there.
No. Why is it pronounced the way it looks? It's never pronounced the way it looks.
Oh, well, that part's dumb, yeah. Even though
Yeah.
I would have pronounced it like Crimea or something.
True. Okay, so this disease was mainly spread from person to person.
Like the COVIDs.
True, like the COVIDs, which would explain the
Easy
quick,
COVIDs.
I know I did, quick inland spread
How the fudge
of
is
the
that?
pandemic. Shush with your Sims.
I will shush my Sims. My Sims is not listening.
The
to me.
pandemic was also spread by rats and fleas. One, not to mention the unsanitariness that was everywhere.
That's a big chair. Oh, it's a small chair. I have issues, don't worry about it.
More specifically, the black rats that came with traveling ships. They carried the plague from one place to another if someone were to get bitten by these rats, which was not uncommon.
So
It's spread.
that was common.
What?
You said that was not uncommon. That's a double negative.
I know it's a double negative.
So it was common, is what you would have said.
It's not uncommon. Let me say it the way I want. This is my video, Bertha.
Bertha.
Too bad.
So I hate this. Not me.
They also tried treating people by using heat and smoke. And sometimes that worked. Most of the time it didn't. What they were trying to do was basically just clear out the airwaves, which, okay, if that worked, it worked.
You can't go 25 seconds without seeing something else about freaking Queen Elizabeth dying. I'm sorry, it was sad, but it's freaking everywhere.
It is. They also tried quarantining people.
They do that with every plague.
Quarantine. These guys would have lost half as many people if they quarantined. Chicken pox, smallpox, bacteria diseases.
Hey, where's our baby?
She's probably under the bed.
I'm bored of you.
Bored of you. Some people would try to make antibiotics now to help cure that. Did you step on it?
What? No.
Oh.
I'm having wrist issues.
Also, they would try just praying to get people to feel better. If it works, it works.
Hi, baby.
Because I believe that would work. But now we have cures like antibiotics and stuff, and
Ruby,
they don't have
peed
that.
in her litter box. It smells bad.
Then clean it out.
I don't want to.
She's so lazy. So lazy. So lazy. But that is what I have. Yes, the next ones will probably be like the Spanish flu and the 7 plagues and COVID.
Ruby, what do her ears do when she's sleeping?
I don't know. I'm a bunny mom. I don't watch my child sleep though.
I see her sleep before. I just can't remember what her ears were doing. But she's not responding. So I'm thinking she's sleeping.
Yeah.
And not in a creepy way, but like she's just like, oh no, she's not sleeping. Hi.
She bends them in a weird way to listen to you.
Hi, baby.
They should be all the way back, almost like she's trying to touch her butt.
Okay, then yeah, no, she wasn't sleeping. She was listening. So you can hear me and you just don't talk to me? Rude.
She is very, very rude. But yeah, those are the plagues. That's part one.
Do you hate that name?
She probably does. Do you guys want to see Pom Pom? That or Pamela Louise.
Little lady.
Excuse us. Movie belly bump.
Belly bump? What are you trying to say?
You know what I'm trying to say, man. Look at my bunny. Pamela. See, she answers to Pamela.
Everything but her real name. That is so sad. I gave you that name, you ungrateful bum.
Your mom called you an ungrateful bum. What are you going to do about it?
Be another ungrateful bum.
Oh, she looks so annoyed.
I'm annoyed too. Let's be annoyed together.
No, look how cute Daddy's. It's supposed to be about plagues. Let me plague your brain with cuteness. She's licking her toes.
Ew.
Can? How dare you call our daughter ew?
I didn't call her.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
That'd be like calling her a sheep. Get it? Because sheep would call her ew.
She likes attention. Not right. Oh yeah, but this is it for now. Oh yeah, she's into the bed. It's fine. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
I've been